Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the session today. The aim of the session today is to look at what we are going to offer from Pearson in terms of apprenticeships. I intend to deliver the presentation and take questions at the end. So if you could start filling in the chat area any questions that you've got, and I'll try and answer them all at the very end. If for some reason I can't answer them because we've run out of time, we will take the question and answers and provide written answers to that and put it up on our website for you to see the answer. The presentation will be made available to everybody who's attended today. It will be posted onto our website, but we will send you an email with a link to where it will be housed. So let's get started. Let's have a look at what we've got from Pearson for apprenticeships. I think we've got to put a bit of context before we start looking at what have we got and why have we gone the route that we have. I think we're living in times of change, so we're seeing frameworks still being offered, they're being extended. We've got the introduction of new standards. I think the environment is pretty scary at the moment. And a key thing for us at Pearson's is the Institute for Apprenticeships will allow qualifications to be mandated in standards if the lack of the qualification could have an impact on the learner's progression. So if you've got to have a qualification to progress, then they're allowed. And also off-the-job knowledge qualifications can also be included if they add value but no significant cost. Our insight at Pearson and feedback from centres indicates that people still want qualifications. So what is our apprenticeship proposition? What have we done? We have gone from the angle of where we see value, where learners need a qualification to progress. We are building qualifications. We also are building on-programme learning. If you think of a learner, if we remove the qualification, what do they learn? So we've got qualifications, on-programme learning, and in some sectors where there is no qualification, the on-programme learning is all the underpinning knowledge that learner needs to know in order to present themselves for Gateway. If you think about learners need to know what they have to learn, what they must be able to do, and how they will be assessed. So our on-programme offer is all the underpinning knowledge with guidance on behaviours and competencies that they need to get through. We've got maths and English, functional skills. We've got something called Apprenticeship 360, or we've abbreviated, we call it App 360. This is our online digital platform that houses our on-programme learning for the standards we are going to offer. For endpoint assessment, we've got something called Smart Assessor, which is an IT system for the booking and organisation of EPA. I think EPA is quite complex. It could have lots of component parts. You need to book it. It may need an assessor face-to-face. It could be a professional discussion. The professional discussion could be done online. I mean, it has become complex. So our Smart Assessor is the booking system in order for centres and Pearson to manage that. We've got training support, so we've got paid for resources, so learner books, EPA practice and prepare activities. We've got free resources, so free resources for learners, you know, the learner's guide to EPA. If we're finding this difficult, learners are really confused. We offer consultancy, whereby employers have got their own programs. we can map these back to qualifications or map these back to standards so that the employer is not doing anything more than what they've already been doing before. And we've got something called Pearson Assured. Pearson Assured is a count mark. It gives a count mark of quality to programs employers already have. So where are we going to offer new standards? These are the sectors that we're going to develop. So transport and logistics, business administration, social care, catering and hospitality, childcare, health and science, which includes health and social care, so adult care, health for the NHS, digital, engineering and manufacturing, retail and construction. This does not mean we will not do other sectors, but right now these are the sectors we think are a priority for Pearson. The new products we'll have, we could have a qualification, non-qual on-programme learning and EPA. The things we already have developed, the things that we have got that you can purchase right now is Healthcare Assistant Practitioner at level 5. We have EPA for this, Healthcare Support Worker level 2, Customer Service Practitioner level 2, Financial Services Customer Advisor level 2, Dual Fuel Smart Meter Installer at level 2. We have an Early Years level 3 qual, a Retail level 3 qual, Customer Service level 3, a qual and EPA. For Early Years, Retail and Customer Service, we also have on-programme learning. So that's all the underpinning knowledge, behaviours and competencies that learners need to know about that will be on our App 360 platform. In development, coming really soon, Pharmacy Technician level 3, Lead Adult Care Worker level 3, Adult Care Worker level 2, Systems Engineer level 7, Healthcare Science Assistant level 2, Senior Healthcare Support Worker level 3, Business Administrator level 3, Senior Financial Service Customer Advisor at level 3. I'm sorry that this is a list of qualifications and a list of on-programme areas. By September, these are the standards we will have available for you to deliver from September onwards. So we'll have Operations Departmental Manager at level 5, Engineering Operative at level 2, Lean Manufacturing Operative at level 2, Hospitality Team Member, Infrastructure Technician, Software Development Technician, Hospitality Supervisor, Retail, Digital Marketeer, Team Leading, Carpentry, Large Good Vehicle Driver, Supply Chain Operator, Supply Chain Warehouse Operative, Dental Practitioner Manager, and Systems Engineering. So they'll be from September. From January, we'll have Cybersecurity Tech, Software Developer, Customer Service, Commie Chef, Cybersecurity, Software Developer, Network Engineer, Aviation Ground Operative at 2 levels, level 2 and 3, Retail Team Leader at level 3, Healthcare Science Associate at level 4, Commie Chef at level 2, Unified Communications Technician, Travel Consultant, and Community Activator Coach at level 2. Quite a lot of standards. We're very busy here at Pearson, busily developing these. In terms of resources, so alongside the standards that we're developing, are digital content. So currently on our platform, our App 360 platform, we've got Team Leader. We've been testing this with customers to make sure we've got the correct functionality that you as customers have been asking for. So we have Team Leader up on the platform. We've been testing this with employers and with centres. By September, to be ingested into the platform, we'll have adult care at both levels, 2 and 3. We'll have early years at level 3, business admin at both levels, retail at both levels, customer service at both levels, and hospitality at both levels. The content will have all the learning that the learner needs to have to present themselves for Gateway. We are also developing content for all the standards we are developing. Every single standard will have this content to support you in the delivery of apprenticeships. We're also piloting some digital interactive content. We are using an internal system called Cognizant, and we are using micro-learning behaviour modules, which is called Skill Pill. So this looks at all the behaviour the learner needs in order to present them from Gateway, and it's bite-sized, interactive modules on behaviour. Learners see very small clips of correct behaviour. They then get a little test and they have to pass the test, but it's very short, sharp learning. It's formative, so learners learn along the way. We've got something called EPA Practice and Prepare, available via Active Learn digital service. And these are to support trainers, employers and learners to practice and prepare for successful endpoint assessment. Endpoint assessment can be really scary, both for the learner and the deliverer and the assessor. So these guides prepare everybody for that endpoint experience. It's a mixture of videos and printable materials, all which can be downloaded. It's at a cost of £250, but you can use these resources with all your learners. So for example, a video will show you what can be expected from a professional discussion. There may be a video of an observation and what happens there. Successful endpoint assessment is dependent on both you and the learner being prepared for what is going to happen. You can, on this slide, you can see there's some web links. You can purchase these by them web links. Okay, so let's have a little look at some of these. So our adult care practice and prepare. The detail in there, there's one professional discussion video, 4 reflective accounts with reference to the 6 C's, care, compassion, etc., etc. And there's 11 situational judgments, so activities for the learners, where it gives them scenarios and questions that the learner needs to answer so that they can practice that endpoint assessment. There's more content coming in July with 200 plus MCQ practice items for them to have a go, have a go at these MCQs. For a lot of these learners, MCQs or testing, they've not been used to it. They've been used to old frameworks where it's been purely observation. So it's about preparing these. The healthcare support worker, there's one observational video within a clinical setting. So we've tried to make these resources real. We've gone out to settings, we've filmed people actually doing the real job. There's a professional discussion video, and there's 6 reflective accounts based on the standards, and these also include the 6 C's, because the 6 C's go across the whole of the health and social care sector. The customer service practitioner has 2 videos for observation practice, a canteen and reception, 2 videos for professional discussion, and 29 exemplar evidence documents for the apprentice showcase. Showcase is a new concept, I think, in terms of assessment. I think this is really, it's used previously, showcasing in art and design, in the creative sector. A showcase, show me the best of what you've done. But for these sectors, that's not been a common assessment tool. So for learners, it gives them the evidence documents for showcasing their very best of what they can do. We will have by September EPA Practice and Prepare for Team Leading. In October, November, we'll have this for Business Admin at level 3. And for these 2, they'll have 3 videos. They'll have 100 plus multiple choice questions which they can practice with. We'll have 25 exemplar pieces of assessment as apprenticeship pieces of work. There'll be 20 activity sheets and 20 PowerPoint presentations that you can use for 20% off the job delivery. Okay, so let's look at the Apprentice Handbook, some of the features of that. These are learner handbooks. They're structured around the standards. They're mapped to the relevant qualification, or if there's no qualification, it's an amplification of the standard. It's all the things you need to know. It covers all the knowledge and skills. It covers the attitudes and behaviours, so professional working features. Activities, there's activities throughout the whole workbook to support EPA preparation. The language and design, we've been really focused on language and design, so it's appropriate for adult learners at the appropriate level. The Adult Care Handbooks features the 6 C's, and there's plenty of opportunity for reflective practice. We've tried to take the values of each and every sector and thread it throughout. So for the care sector, reflective practice is they want them to be reflective practitioners and learn by what happened, what went well and what went wrong, and how could I improve. Also publishing this year is level 3 Electrotechnical, installation and maintenance, and that will be available from September, and the level 3 will be available from November. These are £35 each for print, plus access to enhanced ebooks. So what happens is you can buy each individual learner a printed copy, you turn the page, and inside there's a code, you scrape it off. It's very much like a scratch card. You scratch it off, it gives the learner a code, and the learner can then go online and get the content online. Let's look at Smart Assessor. This is a new IT system for managing learners and EPA. What centres will do is register learners onto the system. You can register them, add them, delete them, amend them, view them. Be quite nice, wouldn't it, really, to delete or amend learners. This is an IT system where you can request EPA. You can book an EPA. You can book EPA for apprentices individually. Some may be ready before others. You can book each component part separately. You can book for the preferred time and for each component individually. Some learners might be ready for an observation, other learners could be ready for a professional discussion, depending on the learner need and when are they ready. I think also in some cases there's hurdles. So in some cases learners have to complete the qualification before they take the MCQ. So when learners get through hurdles, then you can start booking them. You can upload the apprentice documentation as evidence for an assessor. You can maintain the apprenticeship details. What happens with this Smart Assessor system, We give access to providers. We create a super user. We set you up after the contract is signed, and from there on in you can add multiple users from your organisation so that they can use the system themselves. Can I open up for questions?
So in relation to customer service practitioner resource, 29 exemplar evidence documents, what does that mean? Is that 29 presentations covering the full showcase requirements?
Exemplar documents is different types of documents that look at showcasing. So there's learner work there, there's guidance for you on how to do the showcasing. So it's a mixture of resources that you can use. So what we've tried to do is get real live learner work for you to have a look so you can guide your learners to do that.
And again, a question on resources, so I'm just going to read that out. What are the 20 activity sheets and presentations?
For customer service, can I just check? Okay, the videos and activity sheets it will give learners different activities so they get to know the underpinning knowledge. So it will give them an example of this could be reflect on a time you had a difficult customer, and then the learner has to provide answers for that. So it's little activities to get them to know the underpinning knowledge that is needed for EPA. Okay. The videos tend to be videos you could show to your learners or learners can access, which shows them what happens with a professional discussion. This is just an exemplar. So you will see a real live assessor with a learner, and they go through the process of a professional discussion, and you see them being questioned and answered, and the conversation that is going on between the two individuals to provide the evidence for endpoint assessment.
Okay, we've got a few more questions come through. So this one is to do with Smart EPA. So where in the booking process does gateway evidence need to be provided to Pearson?
You would, without the system here open, with that detail, you would register your learners, and at that point, if there's gateway evidence that is needed, that's when you would upload it.
Okay, and again, a related question. Is there a lead time for booking an EPA date?
We're trying to cut this down. That's not landed yet, but what we're working towards is doing this as quickly as possible. So what the approach that we're taking for a learner, if they're ready for endpoint assessment, they want that to be in the shortest possible time possible. So at the moment we're working, I think, to a month, but we're trying to cut that down.
Okay, and there's just one more question, again to do with resources. Do we have resources for the financial services standards?
Right, financial service standards, we are working this year. This has been, I mean, it's a new area for everybody. So we have developed EPAs, we've developed qualifications. We are now, we've developed an awful lot of content, and where we've got EPA offers like financial services, we are developing resources right now for that, but it won't be ready till the end of this year.
Okay, and just another question come through. If I want to secure a date for EPA in advance, I won't have gateway evidence. Will that cause a problem?
I would have to answer that. If we can put that one in our Q&A and get back to you on that. I really don't know. It may, I can't see it being a problem. I think the system would just stop you booking it until that evidence is up there. But I would hate to say that was the case and then I was telling fibs. So can you leave that one with me? We'll take it back as a Q&A answer, and we'll get an answer for you for that. But I would have hoped it'd let you book a learner and register a learner, but then you could only book it once you'd uploaded that. But we will confirm that for you.
Okay, I think that's it for questions.
Okay, can I just thank everybody? If you have got any more questions, happy for you to send them in to Pearson and we will get back to you. Can I thank you for your time and have a nice afternoon?